Thank you very much. Thank you, Shashikumar sir and Dr. Sunil Prasop. And congratulations to our Matthew John for this virtual CME, very, very successful virtual CME, very impressive topics. Dr. Matthew John has given me this topic, barriers to the use of diabetes technologies. So I have a picture over there, and it is a brick wall. I'll be definitely discussing the barriers, but I will try to find some solutions to break through. So this is a news on eSanjeevani platform for telemedicine. And when the eSanjeevani or the telemedicine practice guidelines were published by the Medical Council of India, and that was in the March of 2020, which coincided with the lockdown in India, nobody, neither the public nor the doctors, we never thought that this is going to be the rule of the day. We never thought that the public is going to use telemedicine. But look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. A record 3 lakh teleconsultations within a short span of time. COVID is an emergency. And during this COVID pandemic, when we are aware of the fact that more than 1,000 people are dying daily in India, more than 1,000 deaths daily in India, and majority of those deaths attributable to either a new onset hyperglycemia or uncontrolled hyperglycemia and subsequent complications. Even the American Diabetes Association has recommended remote glucose monitoring in those patients critically ill and admitted in the intensive care units with COVID-19. So it's closely linked. Technology is closely linked to not only diabetes, it is also closely linked to the current pandemic. So I am currently also attending, and I am in a panel discussing with an international group a while ago. Why are we hesitant to use even the glucose monitors in India? The SMBG was recommended and endorsed by the American Diabetes Association way back in 1987. Still, not even 2% of our patients with diabetes in India are using this. These are inexpensive, these are cost effective, and the third gen, the glucose meters you see over there, they're connected meters. They are connected via Bluetooth. They have the capability of real-time glucose monitoring. So the moment the patient is checking the glucose values, it is appearing over the web app for the patient, for the physician. And how many of our patients are utilizing these capabilities of transmitting a digital glucose diary over the internet, over the email, or across a WhatsApp? So which are those barriers? Is it the cost, or is it the pain, or is it the expertise that you require for training the patients? The answer, I believe, the answer could be, we need to convince ourselves first, because the glucose meters currently are very, very accurate. It is far more accurate when compared to the glucose meters 20 years ago. And many of our colleagues are suspicious about the accuracy. So we need to convince ourselves first to convince our patients. What is the status of the continuous glucose monitoring systems? Remember, it was in 2005, we started using CGMS Gold in our clinics in India, in Kerala. And we have traveled a long way, generating evidences from various publications across the country on its utility in different types of diabetes. And in 2015, with the launch of Libre Pro, the cost was almost reduced by almost more than 50%. And the size of the sensor, as we can see, it is reduced by more than half when compared to the earlier generation sensors. And of course, it is popular in the country. But when you look at the numbers in India, almost 76 to 80 million patients with diabetes in India, the uptake is less. It is very sad that some of these life-saving technologies are not used by even the affordable, even the tech-savvy patients. and not promoted by your colleagues? What could be the reason? And this was delayed in India. It was supposed to be launched 3 years ago, the real-time Libre. It was delayed and delayed and delayed. Every international device manufacturer, they are scared to introduce and launch a technology in India. I don't know the reason. You should be knowing the reasons. The reasons are multiple. And this Libre has been a stupendous success wherever it was launched, wherever in the world it was launched. But in India, they are still skeptical, but they are planning for a launch by the end of this year. Guardian Connect, another technology which has been a huge success everywhere. And this is the only real-time continuous glucose monitoring system currently available in our country. And even the third gen sensor is launched in India. I think it was launched almost 8 months ago. Very, very accurate, and this can be placed over the arm for a lower MARD. Eversense was supposed to be launched 2 years ago. Even I was part of an interview where they were inquiring on the necessity, number one, on the convincing power, and third, they were very much concerned about the cost, because the cost of this, this is the only implantable sensor, the Eversense, which has a lifespan of more than 6 months. So you may require 2 sensors in 1 year, and the cost will be around 1 to 1.5 lakhs. So the overall cost is going to be far less, but still the upfront cost is high, and hence the uptake is going to be less. And this is now planned with Ascensia in India. I don't know when it is going to happen, probably next year. And this is in the order of MARD, that lower the MARD, higher the accuracy of a CGM sensor. So we have most of these sensors available in India. And there are merits. There are demerits. Of course, a relatively higher cost could be a demerit. But if you look at those barriers, because I am supposed to speak about the barriers of why it is still unpopular among the doctors, among the patients. The number one reason, which I have gathered from my own experiences interacting with the physicians from across the country, criticism by the fellow doctors. I will explain how it happens. You are recommending a therapy. It can be an expensive continuous glucose monitoring system. It can be an inexpensive connected meter. It can be an insulin pump or a 640G. The moment you give an advice or a suggestion, they will try to get an opinion from a nephrologist or a cardiologist or a neurologist or a family physician who is unfortunately not aware of this technology, who is unfortunately not aware of the functionality and on the, within quotations, on the evidence being generated and the recommendations in the clinical practice guidelines. So my humble request will be, as a relatively senior physician, my humble request to all of you will be, if we don't know something, the answer to our patients should be, I don't know, rather than telling them don't use it, because this can be life-saving for them. And the CGM is not meant for numbers. It is more to do with the trend graphs. Of course, the numbers are improving with each gen of the CGM. And if you don't know, or if you are failing with the first 3 or 4 CGMs because of inability to troubleshoot, then never tell them to stop the CGM. The connected pens, the Bluetooth enabled devices, the NFC enabled devices which can connect to the mobile phone app, which can connect to the My Sugar in the mobile phone. And this is soon going to arrive in India from multiple manufacturers. What about the closed loop systems? 640G, when it was launched in India 5 years ago, it was a panacea. Of course, it was it. And it could prevent hypoglycemia up to more than 80% of the time. And in countries where it was launched, such as in Europe or in the US, patients were waiting for months and months and months to connect their device. That was the demand. But in India, again, the uptake was less. What could be the reason? And because of these multiple reasons, 670G, the hybrid closed loop systems were not even launched in the country, which could automatically actually change the basal rates. So the basal rates were automated. And subsequently, we have other insulin pumps as well, where the bolus is getting automated, the artificial pancreas. So the solo micro pump. Of course, we were also requesting Roche to launch solo micro pump in India. And this is a device which is too free. And it is definitely superior to the Omnipod, which has been popular for more than a decade, but not available in India. Thanks to the requirements, the necessity, there is ACE pumps now available even from the top manufacturers such as T-Slim, the tandem pumps, and from the Medtronic. And these are open pumps. The alternate controller enabled pumps which can communicate with a third-party insulin dosing system, a third-party continuous glucose monitoring system, and so on. So that was a barrier. Remember, that was a barrier. A pump will not communicate with a sensor from another manufacturer, will not communicate with an app from another manufacturer. And this barrier is soon going to be resolved. And there are multiple demerits for the tethered insulin pumps. And believe me, there are multiple demerits for even the so-called patch insulin pumps. However, what is the biggest barrier for initiating or continuing the insulin pump? And this is again the response from our fellow doctors. When we are communicating with our patients on the cost of a device, a cost of a diabetes technology, there is always a phobia for the doctor, the fear of the doctor that the patient will be criticizing on the high cost of therapy. But please understand, it is the fundamental right of any individual in the country to be aware of the guideline-directed medical therapy and to choose from the various options. You have to give them the options, because otherwise they will never know that such devices are even available in the country. And they might reject, and could be the reasons of dealing with the alerts and alarms. And the younger patients need not be the ones who are receiving it. They may be tech savvy, but at the same time, the younger patients may be bothered about exposing the devices, attaching the sensor or the CGM, or they may be bothered that the historical data is downloadable, is visible to you. So they want to hide the data. And there are reasons that the younger patients are more fascinated, but the younger parents, they are having a heightened anxiety using these devices. They have low confidence using these devices. They are more bothered about the risk and benefits associated with these devices. And what are the barriers that can prevent adopting these devices? Please remember the fact that in the beginning itself, we have to set the expectations, the realistic expectations. Psycho-education should be an integral component. These devices are unpopular because most of the promising and innovative developments are not accessible to a larger proportion of the patients. And hence, the patients themselves, because of the disappointment in the development of these technologies, the slow pace of development, the slow pace of commercialization, they have themselves started, we are not waiting. They have themselves started developing algorithms, open source algorithms, which has resulted in do-it-yourself artificial pancreas. And this is a recent review from our center, a comprehensive review on do-it-yourself. Another lockdown publication from us on the evolution of insulin delivery devices over the past 100 years. And every new device has been a phenomenal improvement on the existing device. And the broad solutions to break through the barriers will be to include diabetes technologies in the undergraduate and postgraduate curriculum. Diabetes educator is indispensable. And choosing the life-saving technologies, you may have to spend extra time, but that extra time is worth. This is a new normal. And this is going to be the new world. And the new world is going to survive only on technologies. And this ongoing CMA by Providence, by Dr. Matthew John, Dr. Tituman and his team is a perfect example on how we are successfully surviving on these new technologies. And thank you very much, my dear friends, for your encouragement for our free monthly diabetes newsletter. And we have completed 12 years of a newsletter. So thank you so much for your patient hearing, and thank you for the opportunity.